Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Triple N Talk Show. I am Dr. Nik Nikam. We are delighted you could join us. And today we are going to be talking about cricket on the eve of one of the most important matches between India and West Indies. My special guest is Amit Godbol.
Good to see you again, Nick.
Good to see you. And since he got named God, hopefully we'll have God on our side.
Well, when you have someone like Virat Kohli playing
Yes,
so
we're going to
well,
talk
right?
a lot about Virat
Yeah,
Kohli.
and I'm really excited for this particular match.
Yeah.
It's going to be happening at the Wankhede Stadium in Mumbai, and expected to really go after the team West Indies. A lot of talk already in the
Yes.
media, and we'll break down the
Yeah.
analysis.
We'll get down to that. And ladies and gentlemen, you are watching a Triple N Talk Show. And while we are talking about the Triple N Talk Show, we would like you to download our app, which is NNN Media or Triple N Media, which gives you links to our YouTube, our Google Plus, and also our Facebook. Please visit our Facebook, YouTube, which is a channel Nik Nikam, where we have more than 800 videos accenting our experience here in the Houston area. And also visit our Facebook page, which is Nik Nikam Network, where we keep you abreast of what's happening in and around town and from around the world. Of course, we'll be going to India, that is Mumbai or Bombay, as they used to call it 100 years ago. And of course, India will be facing West Indies. And as the team points stand, it will be India versus West Indies. And of course, England beat Australia.
That's what I want to talk about before we get into India and West Indies.
Let's talk about this England, which were at the bottom of the barrel.
So see, here's the
when they
thing:
left the World Series.
nobody gave them a chance. Nobody gave England a chance. This morning, they played at the Kotla, Firozshah Kotla in New Delhi, facing New Zealand, and 153 is what New Zealand scored. After losing 8 wickets, and England chased it beautifully thanks to Jason Roy, Alex Hale, who gave England such a beautiful start early in the innings, and Joe Root came in later on in the innings also. So, but the hero for the match today is definitely Jason Roy with his quick 78.
I could not imagine the difference between the New Zealand players on the field batting versus the England. England was just sailing like there was nothing bothering them.
Here's the thing with New Zealand, even they, I was a little disappointed with Corey Anderson and Munro. I thought the shots that they played were a little. They rushed into
falling at regular
and that is exactly what I'm saying.
Plus their
that's the point I'm trying to make.
And in the last 4 overs, they didn't make a whole lot of
runs. So after losing Monroe, it was up to Corey Anderson to make sure at least he played. I mean, I'm not really complaining the way Monroe played, but I think it was definitely up to them. All the credit goes to English bowlers, by the way. In the last 3 overs, they only gave up 20 odd runs, and so they really kept New Zealand in check. What I was surprised to see today, Nick, is Kane Williamson's captaincy. I was a little disappointed with him. With a track like that, and when you're not chasing now, for par score for New Delhi, Firozshah Kotla, in today's match, 170 was needed. They were a little shorter than that. So Kane Williamson, as a captain, when your strength is when you have your leg spinners, Santner and Sodhi, he should have gone with them. He brought them in a little too late. That released the pressure off of English batsmen. And you have to also understand something. English bowlers are really good playing against the pace ball. The conditions in England are such. So they're naturally gifted. So I was a little disappointed with Williamson's captaincy today. I thought he could have done a little better. But again, as I always say, that it's easier for us to analyze it after the fact. But still, New Zealand doing so well, and now all of a sudden they're out of the World Cup.
But how do you explain the transformation from the World Series in Australia, where they're left with their heads hanging down, to come back here and reach the finals in T20?
So this is something not new for New Zealand, right? I mean, they have always choked. They have always choked. England now. In the last show also, I told you that English team the weaker link is still, I still consider it to be the weakest link is the bowling. Batting, they are pretty good. I think they have a very, very solid batting lineup. And after the win against Afghanistan that I talked about last week, I was even a little concerned, but I thought they played superbly well today, and all the credit goes to the batsmen.
That's fascinating. And let's talk about the last game between India and our team. Which one was this?
If it wasn't for Kohli, we would have lost that game, right? Again. Kohli came to rescue.
That was a phenomenal game. I mean, I couldn't believe, you know, like they were down like what, 47 for 3 or something.
Right.
And Kohli came back, and of course, Yuvraj Singh, you know, he tried to do his best.
Here's where I give Virat Kohli a little bit of credit. When Yuvraj Singh was hurt, the scoring was squeezed, right?
Yes.
Virat Kohli kept his cool. He kept. I mean, you could have used. I'm sure you must have seen that also.
Yes.
He was asking for 2.
I know.
He was getting denied. He was being denied. So, but he kept his cool, and this was Virat's innings that's going to go into the books.
That is true. And also the partnership did put on almost 50, 60 runs.
Another interesting point, Nick, is he started firing after the 17th over. Till then, he was making sure that he was reserving his wicket, and he was not going to throw his wicket away, and fire at the right time, and he did that. And anyone, any youngsters who are watching this is a perfect example how to build an innings. None of his strokes were really out of the ordinary. He was playing his.
I mean, his extra cover drives and
it's a treat to watch. I think it's a treat to watch.
I tell you, you know who else used to do extra cover drives? Nawab Pataudi. Yeah, very few people can hit the ball over the bowler's head.
Obviously, I was not even born when he was playing back then, but I've seen the
remember
tapes.
His extra cover drives were just like phenomenal.
Even I have heard that even Gundappa Vishwanath was also really good.
He was so short, but he could hit anywhere.
But listen, Kohli's technique, Kohli's temperament is what saw India past Australia.
I think when I saw that game, he was probably the fastest runner between the wickets.
Him and Dhoni. If you look at it, between himself and Dhoni, they are phenomenal.
That's right. Yeah.
And seeing today's cricket, Nick, and that's exactly what we have been talking about, right?
Yeah.
For past so many shows that. How cricket has evolved.
That's right.
Now batsmen are looking when they start taking the first run.
Yeah.
They already have in mind that they have to come back for the second.
Yeah.
So they're sprinting towards the other end. Now this is a change that most teams have been doing it successfully. They are excellent athletes, all of them.
And the fielders all being on the boundary line also helps.
I tell you what, Nick. The fielding is just awesome, no matter who it is. It has been just perfectly awesome. I cannot get over some of the catches that Soumya Sarkar of Bangladesh took.
That's right.
2 catches.
Catches and also cutting force.
Well, I mean, in T20 cricket, that's one of the key is,
that's right.
Even if you're not scoring or taking wickets, but if you save runs.
That's right. It's as well as
scoring runs.
That's right, yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, you are watching a Triple N talk show. I am Dr. Nik Nikam, and my special guest is Amit Godbole, and this is the eve before the cricket match, which is going to be happening in Mumbai in Wankhede Stadium, starting at 9 a.m. Houston time. And we are just, having a pre-game show here. And, okay, let's talk about what do you expect tomorrow?
I'm going to contradict myself. Throughout this World T20, I have been saying that India should bat. India should bat first.
Yes.
Tomorrow's match, I'm hoping that if Dhoni wins the toss, he should chase. And once again, I'm going to put the onus on the Indian bowling. I think that is still the strength of the Indian team is the bowling. It's how they perform. And it's the lack of confidence that Rohit Sharma, Shikhar Dhawan, and Raina have shown until now. Kohli cannot always rescue India or Dhoni. Now, another interesting fact is Yuvraj Singh is a little shaky.
No, he's already out.
He's out. I don't know the latest news now.
Pandya is going to be replacing him.
Manish Pandey.
Manish Pandey.
Now, Manish Pandey is a very good hitter.
Yeah.
Domestic structure, he's been very successful. IPL, he's been playing excellent cricket. So Manish Pandey is someone I am really confident. And now, if you look at Wankhede Stadium, the boundaries are a little shorter as opposed to Eden Gardens or even the last match that they have played, Mohali. So that gives the hitters a chance to a flick can really fly off for a six. And this is Rohit Sharma's home ground. I expect him to do well tomorrow. I really do expect him to do well.
We have not seen anything from the opening batsman in the last 5 or 6 games.
And if you have seen Ravi Shastri interview today,
but I know I saw a clip that he was not.
He was not too happy, and he was very right in saying that the batsmen have to come up with their A game.
He said the first top 4 batsmen, I mean, that didn't include Kohli, but they said they all need to perform. Otherwise, you can't rely on two people.
And as Nik was saying, ladies and gentlemen, that by the time it's a 4th over, Virat Kohli is already at the crease.
That's right. Every time I turn around, like score is 20 for 1 or 20 for 2 or 30 for 2, and your main batsman is already on the field.
So tomorrow, I do, if India were to win the toss, I would expect Dhoni to field at second, chase. That they have been successfully doing that. And I would put West Indies under pressure early on in the innings.
So what do you think about the West Indies players?
Oh, they're great. I think, and against India. Now, you have to also understand, they play with each other so frequently.
Yeah.
Right? Look at Chennai Super Kings when they were still a team back, last year.
Yeah.
Dwayne Bravo, he played under Dhoni. Chris Gale played with Virat Kohli. They all play with each other, so they know each other really very well. Key person for tomorrow's match. I know everybody's talking about Chris Gale.
Yeah.
I'm going. My dark horse for tomorrow is Marlon Samuels.
Marlon Samuels and also Andre Fletcher.
More than Andre Fletcher, it's Samuels is a danger man.
But if you look at the last 4 games they have played,
forget about that.
No.
Against India. I'm
telling you, because they are all inconsistent, because one person scores in one game, and you look at the stats we have here.
You look you open any stats. Samuels has been devastating for the Indians.
Yeah.
He's dealt Indians very gracefully. Marlon Samuels. Yes, Chris Gale is always a threat.
Yeah.
But given the nature of the pitch and given the nature of the Indian bowling attack, I'm pretty confident that they'll be able to contain Chris Gale tomorrow. I don't see any reason why they cannot. With the likes of Ashwin and Jadeja, I think they'll probably get him contained. But Marlon Samuels, you have to worry about.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are watching a Triple N talk show. I'm Dr. Nik Nikam, and my special guest is Amit Godbol, and we are talking about the biggest cricket match for T20 series from India's point of view, and they'll be facing West Indies in the semi-finals. I wish the Indian batting would be as easy as that was for the England team today.
England team were really good. That's
it seemed to me like they just walked through the whole innings.
They did, and again, as I mentioned to you earlier, that thanks to the innings played by Jason Roy and Alex Hales, they paced the innings superbly, and that's why England won.
Okay, but if you look at the top score that was done by West Indies, it was the first match on the 16th, 183 or 82. But all the rest of the game is 120, 130. Do you think Indian team will be able to contain them to 130 or 40?
That is precisely my point tomorrow. That if India bowls, because that is the strength. The bowling is our strength, right? The bowling is India's strength right now. And I'm just not confident enough in India's batting right now, to be very honest with you. I know they're able to chase it very well.
Yeah.
But they should be able to contain West Indies. Now, you have, again, tomorrow's match, Dhoni is going to cut on the pace. As I mentioned to you earlier, Wankhede Stadium is not a big ground. A flick can really fly off.
Well, within a couple of overs, they'll be into the spin.
That is exactly where Team India has an advantage, because of the variety that the bowling has to offer. Now, let's compare it to West Indian bowlers. Dwayne Bravo. He's got that nasty slow Yorker.
Yeah.
He uses it really very well. I really expect Suleiman Ben to play tomorrow. Indians are very weak now. If you look at it, they're not able to handle spin well. I do expect. Now, this scenario, I don't know how that's going to fit in if they can play both Suleiman Ben and Samuel Badri. Get both the spinners in. Not sure how that's going to work out in tomorrow's team composition. Maybe Carlos Brathwaite will have to probably sit in to make room
They
for.
might have already announced the team. So
No, they'll announce it tomorrow morning at the toss.
tomorrow morning,
They'll take the decision tomorrow morning.
As I said, the last 3 games they have played, their scores have been less than 130. So if India can contain them to 130 runs, I think they may have a pretty good chance of being able to score. But
Wankhede Stadium, the power score is above 180.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
If they get to 180, then that's a pretty steep hill to climb, especially if you're batting second.
That means Rohit really has to fire, Shikhar has to fire, Raina has to fire. You cannot leave everything up to Dhoni all the time.
When you're talking 180, you're talking 4 batsmen hitting at least 40 runs each.
So you must have seen the match that South Africa and England played, right? 230 scored on that ground.
Yes.
So the ground is capable. The hitters can, if the hitters are having a good day, that much of score is achievable. But then you have to be in that zone, and I don't think Team India's batsmen, the openers at this point, I'm just not confident in their batting as to they can get there.
Well, I mean, if you look at the stats, throughout the T20 series this year, the opening batsmen just have not been able to produce.
I think they did do a decent job in Australia when they were playing against Australia. The 3 matches that India played, Dhawan and Sharma, they did okay.
I know they were hitting,
they were okay. It's just that it's in the T20 World Cup, neither of them has performed, and biggest disappointment for me. And again, I'm just telling you from the outside that for tomorrow's match, I wouldn't mind sitting Raina and getting Rahane in, getting an additional batsman in.
Yeah.
And Rahane is a big hitter too. Raina is just out of touch right now. He just doesn't look like he's in touch at all. I would take that risk if I was Dhoni.
Well, what I would like to see is in the first 6 overs, the power overs, I would like to see at least 60 runs with maybe 1 wicket. But if
India, let's look at this scenario.
Yeah.
If India were to bat tomorrow first.
Yes.
Now again, Dhoni is very unpredictable. I've been saying the whole T20 series, all the matches India played, I've been saying bat first. He's been fielding, right?
Yeah.
Now, if I'm saying today that he should field tomorrow, who knows, he may bat tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
So, scenario 1, if India were to bat tomorrow first, you're looking at score 180 above. Must. You have to have Indian team will have to score that many runs. First 6 overs are the very crucial ones.
Yeah.
And that is where Rohit Sharma is very vulnerable. And the form that he's in right now, again, on his day, he really doesn't care if it's a power play or not. He's going to go for his shots.
Yes.
The slight edge that I'm going to give Sharma is because that is his home ground. So I really expect that he will probably come up with better performance.
Yeah.
Shikhar Dhawan, same thing. Again, West Indians will be slowing down the pace. They are also aware of it, that a flick can really fly off to a 6.
Well, by the same token, these 2 opening batsmen may be under more pressure because they are
under more pressure
in the last 5-6 games.
They are under more pressure, and I think the pressure is good, right? I mean, if you don't perform, you're out. You need to go out. There are other batsmen who are waiting in the wing, right?
I know.
So they need to be given a chance. See, the situation with Rahane, you have to understand, and people have to understand that Rahane is best suited for the opening slot. You already have an opener.
That's right.
So tomorrow, now with Dhoni's consistency, it's very unlikely that he will mess with the top 2. But yes, Raina, I'm a little concerned about his slot. I feel that maybe Rahane should be called in tomorrow for tomorrow's match. And Manish Pandey is there. He's an excellent hitter.
Yeah.
He's a good T20 player. He's been performing well in IPL also. So I expect him to do well tomorrow.
So which spinner you think is going to create the havoc for West Indies?
Jadeja. I'm going to go with Jadeja.
Yeah.
Ashwin in last game, if you remember, Dhoni took him out after the 2nd over. But again, that was just 1 game. But between Ashwin and Jadeja, my key player tomorrow is Jadeja. And the reason why I'm saying Jadeja is because of his control, because of his stump-to-stump line that he sticks with. And plus, he's got a variety. He's got a very good variety. So Jadeja is the key for me tomorrow.
I don't know. I would like to go with a bowler who can bowl lot of Yorkers.
That's your boy Bumrah.
I know. That's why I said.
That's your boy
That's
Bumrah.
where our Bumrah will come in real handy, and he is an excellent economy rate, and that's where he can probably slow down a few overs, at least 4
the
overs.
The only reason why I know why Dhoni is sticking with Raina also, because Raina also provides Dhoni with that additional spin.
Yeah.
Raina's he's a wicket taker.
Yeah.
You cannot argue that he's also a very, very good fielder as well. Suresh Raina.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Dr. Nik Nikam. We are watching a Triple N talk show coming to you live on YouTube, and please do subscribe to our YouTube channel, where we bring you our talk show every Wednesday between 6 and 7 p.m. And if you would like to be a guest on our program, give us a call. Our number is 281-745-4161, and we are talking about T20 cricket, and India will be facing West Indies tomorrow, starting at 9 a.m. Houston time, and my special guest is Amit Godbol. Okay, what other things can affect? What if it rains out?
Chances are right now I haven't really heard anything that it's going to be a washout.
But if it rains out, what's going to happen? Let's look at the standing here.
Well, before you even go into that, I really wanted to point out that West Indies and India, look at their standings. They have both faced each other 3-2. West Indies 3 and India 2.
Yeah.
In T20s. So India is Indians are looking at they have played West Indies. They played West Indies has won 2 and India has won 1 against West Indies. So tomorrow's match, India is going to have to be a little careful, and I'm trying to get the weather report for you tomorrow if there's a chance. I doubt it.
Let's see what's going to happen if India were to.
Well, India's qualified anyway.
Huh?
India's qualified anyway.
West Indies, they've got 6 points, and they are going to get, both are going to get 7 points each. But by run rate, West Indies is going to.
And that is precisely what I've been saying from day one. If you remember, that Indians have to really, and that is the reason. That is where Indians have really hurt themselves, and in particular, Rohit Sharma and Shikhar Dhawan not firing at the right stage. Indians are really hurting from that.
I think it's New Zealand that created the havoc by rounding up Indian team for 79 runs in the first game.
But Indians had an opportunity later on also to do it, but again, all those chases were there.
Yeah.
But that's a likely scenario, what you just mentioned right now, and West Indies is in a driver's seat. That's not going to happen tomorrow, just so you know. So we're going to have a full match.
As much as people would like to see Chris Gale's batting, I don't know.
I really wish to be there tomorrow. I am telling you, I want to be at Wankhede Stadium. You don't want to miss.
I'm telling you, how
just
can
imagine
people
the
have
atmosphere? Just imagine the atmosphere.
How can you have two hearts? You're sitting in the Wankhede Stadium and say, okay, we want to see Chris Gale's batting, but we want him in the stadium. In the pavilion, not in the middle of the pitch.
as a cricket fan, not as an Indian cricket fan, but as a cricket fan, this is going to be a run fest. If all the batsmen are performing to their capacity, to their skill set, I think we are in for a treat, Nick. We're in for a major treat tomorrow.
Yeah, but if they get to 200 runs and all, I feel like it is a pretty daunting task for
the reason
Indian
why you're
team.
saying that, because you also know back of your mind that the Indian batting lineup is weaker.
Yes.
And that is the reason why I have said that.
And I was really so surprised that Kohli and Dhoni could.
Let me ask you something.
From almost.
Let me ask you something. Yes. If you were to be Darren Sammy, you win the toss tomorrow. What is your take?
I mean, if I'm West Indies, I would just go and bat, because it's a lot easier to put 200 runs on the board and put more pressure on Indians. As a result, then people are going to make mistakes.
Knowing that Indian bowling is a stronger point.
Still, they got pretty good batsmen. So as long as they can put 200 runs, if they put 200 runs, I would say they will be in the driver's seat, unless you're talking 10 runs and over. It's not an easy task, and chasing a total.
In today's day and world, 10 runs and over is not a big deal. I mean, teams have
But
chased it.
but you need batsmen at
You
least
need
up
batsmen. I
to
do
6,
agree.
7 down.
I do agree. I do agree. Rohit Sharma, and that is exactly what Ravi Shastri was mentioning, that some of the Indian batsmen need to bring their A game tomorrow.
That's right.
And if they win, they're into the finals.
I'm just hoping maybe West Indies would keep their performance, which is 130 runs, and maybe
I'm very confident with the Indian bowling attack, and
Yeah.
I'm very confident because the way they have performed. Look at the Australian batting, right? At one point, and I remember I said that Usman Khawaja.
yeah. Oh yeah.
I talked about him
was
his last show
fantastic,
also. Thanks to Usman Khawaja, Australia were on a cruise control, right? I mean, they were really at one point. We were looking at a score of excess of 180 or
Oh
so,
yes.
109 over 90. Indians did a very good job in containing Australia, taking wickets at a regular interval, and really putting pressure on Australia, making sure Australia was a little bit unlucky with Steven Smith's call. He was given out. It wasn't a flick, but anyway, as in that kind of environment,
That's almost like a hair-splitting call.
yeah, it was
Because when they showed the soundtrack, the audio track, there was just only one blip.
Now, Nick, this is the reason why a lot of nations are contesting that maybe DRS should be in play. BCCI is really not in favor for that.
Which one?
The DRS system, the decision review system.
Yeah.
Okay, so that means the batsman has the capability of referring it to the third umpire.
I see.
If he or she believes that they're not out, they can refer it.
It was reviewed.
It wasn't reviewed. It will not be reviewed. Once the umpire, again, as I mentioned last time, the umpires, the on-field umpires, have the capabilities of referring to the runouts, stumpings, and no balls.
I see.
LBWs, other decisions, they cannot refer it, and batsmen cannot. They cannot request a referral.
But I saw that in World Series, day games where the batsman, the team asks for a review. I think they get one review or something.
There are 3 reviews they are given, but in this T20 DRS is not in play.
Is that right?
And if it were there, then it was clearly Steven Smith was. Again, I am not really blaming the umpire here. And given the situation, there was a noise. Where that noise came from, who knows? And even if there's one blip there, but there was noise was there, right?
Yeah.
And that is what the umpire also heard.
I mean, we are looking at the waveforms. I mean, we couldn't hear.
We're analyzing it after the fact.
I know.
But just think about the umpire who was there on field. He had to make that decision in a split of a second. So I have to give that little benefit of the doubt to the on-field umpire.
That's ladies and gentlemen, you are watching a Triple N talk show. I am Dr. Nik Nikam, and we are talking about a cricket match between India and West Indies, which is going to be happening in Wankhede Stadium in Mumbai at 9 a.m. Houston time. And of course, we are coming to you live from Houston. And this is live video stream to YouTube. And please do subscribe to our YouTube channel and tell your friends to subscribe because we bring you all kinds of topics here at the Triple N Talk Show. And if you would like to be a guest on our program, let us know, and we'll be happy to have you as a guest. And we talk about all different topics. We'll be delighted to. In fact, next week we're going to be talking about the role of yoga in controlling diabetes.
Oh, that's very nice.
Huh?
Good.
We're going to have doctors and physicians talking about the scientific explanation as to how yoga can control diabetes.
Maybe we can do some yoga for the matches that are happening now, right? The way they are going.
They should be doing it because if you look at Kohli, that's what I was saying. Kohli is just like bone and muscles. There's not an ounce of fat on his body.
But listen, for that age, the amount of concentration, the amount of his temperament, it's creditable. He's a superhero, no doubt about that. I mean, just the way he has performed, he's bailed India out, literally single-handedly.
That's right. Yeah. Well, that's where we need help from other batsmen.
So
Dhoni has been a pretty good, consistent supporter.
So there were jokes, right? After there were a lot of jokes, when after the Australian match, that one of the jokes was that when Dhoni came to bat, Kohli said, I'm glad that you're here because don't worry about it. You will still score the runs. I'll just hit the running runs,
I
the
see.
winning runs.
Yeah, I
And you
thought
will
it.
still.
I see. Yeah.
So there are a lot of jokes. You read them. Dhoni again. What the point that I'm trying to make, I was trying to make earlier.
Yeah.
It cannot be only on Dhoni and
I
Virat to take the team out. When you have batsmen with the capability of such as calibers of Rohit Sharma, Shikhar Dhawan, Suresh Raina, the Indian batting should not be that pathetic. I'm sorry to use that word, but that's exactly how it has been.
Well, hopefully they will come to rescue tomorrow from the first wicket partnership itself. And as I said, if the first wicket partnership can hold for first 6 overs with 50, 60 runs on the board, I think then that will give enough room for other batsmen to maybe sail through. I mean, 180, 190, 200. I think it's a pretty steep
score. That's a par score there.
That's right. It's a pretty high score to be chasing, or even if India.
And I can sense the reason why you're not confident about that is because we're looking at the weaker link here with the batting.
Yeah.
All right. So let me turn the tables on you this time. Before you ask me, let me ask you your predictions for tomorrow.
Huh?
Your predictions for tomorrow.
My prediction for tomorrow is I think India has to struggle to.
So who are you going with, West Indies or India? Who's your pick tomorrow?
Well, I'm going to pick India because Chris Gale, hasn't consistently performed.
Right.
Number one, and number two, if you look at the last 3 games, their scores have been 130 runs, and if Indian bowlers can keep them below 150, then I think the batsmen have a much better chance of being able to sustain the innings and get it like they did against Australia. But if it gets to be 180 to 200, then you need the opening batsman to carry the score.
For me tomorrow, I'm going to go ahead with Team India again.
Yeah.
I'll give them a slight edge. I have been giving them as well because of the bowling. And some of the key players to watch out for tomorrow's match. Let me first go over the West Indian side.
Yes.
Then I'll get to the Indian side. For the West Indian side, as I mentioned earlier, Marlon Samuels.
Yes.
Samuels, somebody who should be, you should look out for. Suleiman Ben. Suleiman Ben is in excellent form right now. And Indians are having a very difficult time facing spin. I really expect Suleiman Ben to do well tomorrow. Dwayne Bravo, you can never write him off. Andre Russell.
Yes.
He's a big hitter. We all talk about Chris Gale. We forget that there's Andre Russell there, who's a good hitter. Dwayne Bravo himself can hit. Darren Sammy is a good hitter. It's how they perform on a day, on a particular day.
Well, I think when Indians are fielding, I would like to see at least a couple of wickets before the first 6 overs.
I'll get to that.
Yes.
From the Indian camp point of view, as I said to you, my key player for tomorrow is going to be Ravindra Jadeja. I think if he continues bowling the way he's bowling now, Ashwin is. I'm not underestimating Ashwin, but because of the way Jadeja has performed, I think in tomorrow's match and the conditions given in tomorrow's situation, Jadeja will be the key factor, along with Ashwin, Ravichandran Ashwin. You cannot write him off. Bumrah, yes, Bumrah is another person
that's what I said,
that
because every ball counts in a fast field like Venkatesh Stadium or a very short boundary lines, because every ball could be 4 runs or it could be 6.
I am still contemplating, as I mentioned to you earlier, that I really wanted Rahane to come in now with absence of Yuvraj. Raina still offers Dhoni the spin. So
I saw somewhere on the Facebook his name was mentioned, but I don't know if he's going to be.
Manish Pandey has been selected. He was called in. He was called in, but I wasn't too sure if Yuvraj is definitely out. I was waiting for tomorrow.
I'm pretty positive he's out.
That means his reports might have come in earlier than what they were speculating. So my tomorrow's match for the bowling side, Ravindra Jadeja and Jasprit Bumrah are 2 key players for me. For the batting lineup, I'm going to give Rohit Sharma a little bit of an edge, only because they're playing at Wankhede. He's playing at his home ground. Expectations are there. He's under a lot of pressure. And every time Sharma had played under pressure, he has performed really well. I expect Sharma to fire tomorrow. I also expect likes of Mahendra Singh Dhoni to really light up the screen. And I give India a slight edge over West Indies. And again, I'm going to stick to my point. Because of the strong bowling lineup, India has a slight edge.
I think as far as the bowling line is concerned, I think a couple of things I would focus on is as many dot balls as you can, and hopefully, you throw a lot more Yorkers. Because the beauty with the Yorkers is, they're not hitting for a six. At least, contain the run to like 1 or 2 runs.
Do you remember the discussion that the players had on the pitch against Bangladesh?
Yeah.
Right? They were asking Pandya to ball back of the hand, in the back of the length deliveries. That is exactly the kind of deliveries you'll see tomorrow at Wankhede. Because of the shorter boundaries, it's only the bowlers have to be very, very careful tomorrow not to give batsmen enough width so they can open up their arms.
Yes.
And that is where I'm saying that Jadeja is the key tomorrow, because he's got that X factor in him.
Amit, with that, let's hope India wins tomorrow, and we can see the final game in Eden Garden in Kolkata.
Well, if India wins tomorrow, I'll be back again, right?
All right.
We'll have
Okay.
the show.
Thank you so much.
And
ladies and gentlemen, you have been watching a Triple N talk show. My special guest has been Amit Godbole, and I am Dr. Nik Nikam, and we will see you next week. Thank you.